I know why you hate me. You all have memories of someone like me that take you back to a time and place you wish you didn't have to think about. You probably have a physiological reaction when you think about it. Your palms start to sweat. Your stomach is in a knot. Like me, your heart races. You just have an overall feeling of dread. Mentally, you start to make a tally when you see me coming of all the ways you might get ripped off. Maybe you've never done this before. Maybe you're a woman. Maybe you're just nice and you don't want to argue. When you see me, you load up for bear because you know you need to just to get through our conversation. You hate me because I am a car salesman, a fourth-generation car salesman. I understand. I've been taught to call you, the customer, a variety of names. Tire kicker, grinder, pumpkin, grape, up, mud duck. Some of the stuff, I don't even know what it means. I just repeat what I hear. If you're the kind of person who walks through our front door and just does what we tell you, that makes you a lay down. We love you people. But Lord help you if you have or even appear to have bad credit. In that case, and I will keep this family friendly, you are a roach, a credit criminal, a get-me-done, or a stiff. Please don't take this personally. Anyone who comes on our lot is a duck on a pond. And it's always open season at a car dealership. We have to do this. We have to make you less human so we don't feel so badly taking advantage of you. It's true. We are trained to take control of you in the situation. We will give you as little information as we can and take as much as we can to make sure that we do what we want us to do. We are expert at the art of having you do what we want you to do. I know you said you wanted an SUV, but that sedan there, that's been here for like 120 days. $500 if I can sell that today. So guess what you're buying? We're going to stuff you into that. We'll go back and forth with the manager for a couple of hours. Finally, I'll just break down and say, what is it going to take to get you to buy this? When, everybody? Today. You all knew I was going to say that, didn't you? So then, after you've been worn down pretty good, we'll take you down to the finance department. There, we will put you under the ether, the sedative of choice at a car dealership, and we will sell you things which in 2 days, when you wake up from the ether, you realize you did not want or need. And therefore, we are at odds for the very first minute. I'm trying to sell you the car for as much as I possibly can, so I can make money for myself and my family. You are trying to pay as little as you can so you can save as much for yourself and your family. Our pay plans actually reward us if we can prevent you from saving money. So because of these and many other unsavory practices over the years, it can be hard to hold your head high while uttering the words, I am a car salesman. This is why one of my teammates told me he spent the first couple of decades in his career when people found out what he did for work by explaining, it's what I do, it is not who I am. My great-grandparents, Rocco and Emanuela, for purposes of clarification, Rocco is on the left. By which I mean no disrespect, but my daughter did ask in all seriousness. It's a fair question, honey. She's on the right. Rocco and Emanuela arrived here around the turn of the century, and he was a stonecutter. He was described on his World War I draft card as short and stout. She stayed home, never learned how to speak English, raised 7 children. They had large vegetable gardens and fruit trees. I'm told they even made wine from their own grapes, that though it tasted like vinegar, they drank it anyway. And he was a stonecutter, as I mentioned, and it was a relatively dangerous line of work. And she asked that he get out of that and find something safer to support the family. So he did. In 1924, here's a picture of our original gas station. All hands were on deck, as with any immigrant family, to make this happen. So since 1924, we've owned and operated something related to an automotive dealership. That means for 90 years, my family has served the state of New Hampshire through selling cars. which means we know every trick in the book. I'm proud to say we don't use all of the tricks. And my grandfather and my dad, less confusion probably about who's where on that one. My grandfather and my dad were well-loved, well-respected business leaders from whom I have learned so very much. And my grandfather, I refer to him as the blueprint. He taught me so much. He worked for 79 years in the business, from the age of 13 to 92. Once a year, my grandmother would drag him to Florida, kicking and screaming, and he would call home every night, how many did we sell, and did we make payroll this week? Yes, we did. My dad, what a gentle, kind soul, wonderful person. Understandably horrified at some of the words that I would bring home from work and share with him, because for him, human beings deserve more and deserve better than what our industry typically is willing to show them. Fortunately for my team and me, the bones of our company have not changed over time, but times themselves have really changed. And under the ether, even the best of us can start to believe that this is just what we do. It's not who we are. You likely know from your own experiences at car dealerships that we in the industry are under a pretty heavy dose of ether ourselves. But what we find as we start to wake up from it is that what we do is who we are. So who are we? Well, we came up with a mission statement a few years back, and we had to take a hard look at what currently was in place back then and make sure that it actually reflected who we knew we were. And our team members, some of whom are in the room today, I'm happy to say, were present when we jotted down on sticky notes all of the adjectives that we thought best described Grappone. So we would paste them up on the wall, and then we grouped them together in similar categories, and 3 words emerged effortlessly, and they were integrity, kindness, and respect. And so from that foundation, the input of our team, we came up with this as a mission statement. It's dedication to building lifelong relationships with our team members, our guests, and our community by serving with integrity, kindness, and respect. Integrity, kindness, and respect. We're going to take a look at each one of these to help tell our story. We made a radical change to our business operation in 2003. We decided we would clearly and transparently price our cars and not negotiate. No additional discounts for friends or family, no floor mats thrown in, as we like to say, not even a stick of gum. If you can find this car 20 miles away for less, we still won't negotiate. Why? Because there is no integrity in claiming to be negotiation-free, only to change your mind as circumstances arise. If we did that, why should anybody, my team or our guests, believe anything we said? So I shared this talk with several of my team members, and one of my spunkier sales staff, her name's Taylor, and she knows that I call her Spunky, shared this story with me. She started by saying in a group of her peers, well, Amanda, I know you can't fire me now for this, and I love those stories, they usually end well, and finished with, when I really liked a customer, I used to quietly tell them, go home and check the internet, because the price is lower than what my manager will give you. What? Really? That happened. That actually happened. She would have gotten in trouble in the old system with her manager for trying to find the best deal for her guest, or in my humble opinion, a guest being the human being that you make a connection with. So while our current pay plan, I know, is not perfect, our sales compensation no longer has anything to do with the price in the car or how much somebody pays for it or how much gross profit is in a deal. It does allow our team to educate and serve rather than manipulate and coerce. And it is designed so that they should never have to choose between making themselves money so they can support themselves and their family or serving a guest. So not surprisingly, when you ask and allow your team to operate in integrity, all sorts of kindness starts bubbling up all over the place. And kindness is a category in which I have a very difficult time choosing just one story, because I work with the nicest people in the world. This one story, though, sticks in my mind. It happened last winter, and one of my teammates, I'll call him Fred, he'd like to remain anonymous, was driving to his mom's to plow after one of our many snowstorms last year. And on the way, he saw a man out in his driveway trying to shovel his car out under a big old snowbank. And he stopped, and Mr. Jammies told him, listen, I need to get to work, but my plow guy hasn't showed up. So Fred plowed his driveway for him, and Mr. Jammies wanted to know, how much do I owe you? And he said, well, whatever you pay the other guy, how much is that? And he said, $30. So Fred said, well, please just make the check out to the American Cancer Society. And then he got back in his truck and plowed 6 more driveways for free on the way to his mom's house. And he shared that story with me, he said, because he's so inspired by how he's treated at work that he just wants to pay it forward. So respect, this one's easy actually. Human beings deserve respect, period. When you want to build lifelong relationships, which is what our mission statement demands, you have to build them on a foundation of respect. Where we work, what that looks like is transparently sharing information online or in person, so everybody's got the same fair opportunity to understand what something is priced at. It looks like not miraculously finding another $400 to discount when you already told them, no, this is the final price, but oh, if you're leaving today, then maybe I can make it cheaper. It also looks like not wearing people down by going back and forth with the negotiation process. This, by the way, as a consumer, is where that slow trickle of ether starts to filtrate into your system. For us, it is very disrespectful to move the goalpost on our team or our guests, so we don't. It is with a deep feeling of humility that I stand here and tell you that as an owner, I feel it is my job to create a safe and stable work environment for my team. Our mission statement makes this clear. Remember, it asks us to serve our team members, our guests, and our community with integrity, kindness, and respect. Now, you'll note perhaps the wording, our team members come first, and that was by design. And when you do that, people realize that their actions can better match their intentions. And they realize that our industry that has given us permission to do things so wrong for so long doesn't match up with who they are as human beings. And what also happened is that years of stupid policies fell away to just expose us for the really great, nice, kind team of people who we are. So nobody at work is asked to put their plaid suit on, show up, move some metal, and then go home to be who they really are. They are asked to show up not just with their heads and their hands, but also with their hearts. They are asked to show up 100%. They understand this is not a sales technique to be authentic. They understand that it is a gift. It is an awakening. It's a coming out of the ether. So to be who they authentically are is how they'll reach their potential. And if they can reach their potential, then they can move through this world in love. Think about that. If you want to truly move through life in love, you have to reach your potential. And if you want to reach your potential, you have to be who you really are. And in order to be who you really are, you have to treat people with integrity, kindness, and respect. I've got a story from one of my team leaders, Kathy. She really struggled after having her child figuring out what to do about staying home or coming back to work. And her husband works with us as well, and she said, just to appease him, I told him I'd go back. But you know what? I promised myself, Amanda, I would not work in a stupid, meaningless job that only paid me enough to pay a daycare provider to watch my baby and nothing else. So she convinced herself, maybe I'm blowing it for her husband, I don't think he's ever heard this before, that yes, I know it's not going to work, but I'm going to do it anyway just until I can find another part-time job. And she said what she found instead was a group of people and a family, as she refers to us, my other family. A group of people who every day can come together and make real good things happen. For her, it is not about selling cars. It is about communicating and learning and coaching and loving people around her. So this is not just about car sales. It's not just about a fourth-generation family business in Bow Junction, New Hampshire. Ask yourselves, do integrity, kindness, and respect form the foundations of all of your relationships with the people you love the most, with the people you work with people you meet every day? Do they? If they don't worry about it. Just know that you are under the ether with all of the rest of us. And it's time to wake up. Thank you.